For centuries, the Nephilim, mysterious beings mentioned in ancient texts, have sparked curiosity and speculation. Described as giants, heroes of old, and mighty warriors, they left an unforgettable mark on history and mythology. But a burning question remains: what happened to them? Did they vanish, leaving no trace? Or is there more to their disappearance than we understand? In this video, we'll uncover the most intriguing theories, examining historical accounts, theological interpretations, and fascinating legends about the Nephilim's origin, battles, and potential extinction. Journey with us as we explore the story of these giants, the events that may have led to their end, and the mystery that keeps their legend alive to this day. The Nephilim, first mentioned in Genesis 6:4, are described as the heroes of old, men of renown. But who were they really? The term Nephilim is derived from the Hebrew root word naphal, meaning to fall, suggesting they were fallen beings or offspring of those who fell from grace. Ancient texts say they were the product of unions between the sons of God and the daughters of men, resulting in beings of great power and size. Many interpretations consider the sons of God to be angels who defied divine law, mingling with humanity and producing these half-divine, half-human hybrids. Others believe they may have been the descendants of Cain, whose lineage was marked by violence and defiance against God. But regardless of their exact origin, the Nephilim's presence in the ancient world was significant and, as we'll see, influential enough to be considered a threat to the very fabric of creation. From the start, the Nephilim's existence posed questions about boundaries between the divine and mortal worlds, as well as the consequences of defying these boundaries. Some religious texts, like the Book of Enoch, go into even greater detail, depicting the Nephilim as agents of chaos and violence, creating instability across the land. With their mighty strength and overwhelming size, they quickly became symbols of power and dominance, figures both feared and revered. As the Nephilim grew in number and influence, they threatened the balance of the earth. According to Genesis, their actions, along with humanity's descent into moral corruption, reached a tipping point that could no longer be ignored. In response, God decided to cleanse the earth through a catastrophic flood, sparing only Noah and his family to start anew. This flood, according to many interpretations, was not just about wiping away sin, but also a means of purging the earth of the Nephilim's influence. The idea of the flood as a targeted act against these beings suggests they represented a danger so severe that only a complete reset could contain it. But did the flood succeed in eliminating the Nephilim entirely? Some ancient texts hint that the Nephilim may have persisted even after the flood. How could they have survived? Did some take refuge in hidden places, or did they reappear through new unions between divine and human beings? These questions have fueled centuries of speculation and debate, and we'll delve deeper into them in the next chapter. Despite the flood's purpose, it appears that giants still roamed the land in the years following Noah. In the Bible, we encounter tribes in Canaan such as the Anakim, Rephaim, and others described as towering figures. These giants were direct threats to the Israelites, and their defeat became a symbol of divine favor for God's chosen people. The most famous story involves the encounter between David and Goliath, a giant Philistine warrior. While Goliath is not directly referred to as a Nephilim, his size and power suggest he was among these ancient warriors' remnants, or possibly of similar ancestry. Such giants were seen as physical obstacles to the Israelite conquest, but they also represented a symbolic challenge, the last of the giants standing against divine will. The existence of these giants raises questions. Were they descendants of the original Nephilim, or did they arise independently? Many scholars argue that these post-flood giants were remnants of the Nephilim's bloodline, diluted but still present. Their presence and ultimate defeat were a powerful statement that divine order would ultimately prevail over chaos. Several theories explain why these giants eventually disappeared from history. One theory suggests they were gradually assimilated into human populations, leading to a loss of their distinct characteristics over generations. Their diluted lineage may have simply faded, their once great strength and size diminishing with each new generation until they were indistinguishable from ordinary humans. Another perspective posits that they may have been systematically hunted and eradicated. The Israelites' battles with giants in Canaan are often interpreted as symbolic and literal efforts to rid the land of Nephilim remnants. With each encounter, the giants grew fewer, and their influence waned, suggesting a purposeful campaign against these beings to restore harmony to the land. Still, some believe the Nephilim may have retreated into hiding or been subject to supernatural punishment, confined to an unseen realm, or perhaps even another dimension. These possibilities add layers to their mystery and help explain why they vanished from historical records, leaving only traces in myths and legends. Over time, the genetic lineage of the Nephilim may have blended with humanity, resulting in the gradual loss of their unique traits. This theory of genetic dilution is one of the more scientific explanations, proposing that as the descendants of the Nephilim intermarried with other humans, their defining characteristics, immense size, strength, and perhaps even intelligence, faded. Supporters of this theory suggest that, like any isolated trait, the Nephilim's extraordinary characteristics couldn't survive without selective reproduction. Generations of intermingling likely diluted their features, and eventually their descendants became almost indistinguishable from ordinary people. By the time Israel's tribes inhabited the land, these genetic giants were few, and their diminished features rendered them unremarkable. This theory raises thought-provoking questions about human history and ancient genetics. Could remnants of the Nephilim's lineage still exist today, hidden in plain sight within humanity? It's a possibility that fascinates historians and theologians alike, suggesting that perhaps the Nephilim never fully disappeared, but rather became one with the very people they once overshadowed. Some scholars propose a simpler theory. The Nephilim may have perished due to natural causes. Being of enormous size likely put them at an evolutionary disadvantage, particularly as environmental and societal changes took hold. Their giant physiques required massive amounts of food and water, resources that could have been scarce or difficult to maintain, especially during times of drought or disaster. In addition, their size may have limited their mobility, making them more vulnerable to predators, conflicts, and environmental challenges. The shift from nomadic to agricultural societies, which favored smaller, adaptable communities, might have further marginalized these towering beings. As resources dwindled and their adaptability declined, the Nephilim may have faced extinction by sheer necessity. This theory suggests that while they may have been powerful in certain contexts, the Nephilim ultimately couldn't survive the demands of a changing world. As survival pressures mounted, their numbers dwindled, marking a quiet but inevitable end to their once dominant presence on Earth. Another intriguing theory is that the Nephilim met their end through divine intervention. According to some religious interpretations, these beings were never meant to exist and posed a spiritual threat to humanity's divine order. To correct this, God or other spiritual forces may have intervened directly, either by eradicating them or by banishing them to a supernatural realm beyond human reach. Texts like the Book of Enoch hint at this possibility, describing how angels were bound and punished for their rebellion, possibly including their offspring. The Nephilim, seen as a byproduct of forbidden unions, may have been exiled to an unseen dimension or underworld. Some legends suggest they live on in these shadowy realms, watching humanity but forever cut off from interaction. This theory adds a mysterious, even eerie layer to their disappearance. It implies that the Nephilim didn't merely die off, they were purposefully removed, isolated from humanity to restore spiritual balance. To this day, some believe remnants of their spirits still linger in hidden places, adding to the Nephilim's mythos and making their story one of both loss and eternal watchfulness. Despite centuries since their supposed disappearance, the Nephilim remain a topic of fascination and even conspiracy. Some believe that traces of their lineage continue in secretive societies, hinting at a hidden influence of giants behind major events in history. From ancient texts to modern pop culture, the image of the Nephilim as hidden, powerful figures continues to resonate, casting a long shadow across generations. Modern conspiracy theories suggest the Nephilim bloodline may still be active among influential families or secret organizations, supposedly wielding power from behind the scenes. While there is no concrete evidence to support these theories, the allure remains. Ancient monuments, mysterious structures, and artifacts that defy historical explanation are often attributed to the handiwork of the Nephilim, who are thought to possess knowledge and strength beyond that of ordinary humans. While much of this may be speculation, The persistence of the Nephilim in modern lore serves as a testament to humanity's desire to understand and connect with the unknown. These giants of old are now woven into the fabric of our myths and stories, a legacy that perhaps will never truly disappear. As we conclude our journey through the story of the Nephilim, we are left with more questions than answers. The legends, theories, and accounts surrounding these giants paint a picture of beings who straddled the line between the mortal and the divine, leaving an indelible mark on history. Their existence challenges us to consider the boundaries of human understanding, asking us to explore the unknown and seek answers to mysteries that remain just out of reach. The Nephilim story, whether grounded in fact or woven from myth, reminds us of humanity's fascination with power, mystery, and the supernatural. It compels us to look beyond what we know, to question what we think we understand about the past, and to wonder about the secrets it still holds. Are the Nephilim gone forever, or do they live on in some form, hidden yet still connected to us? Thank you for joining us on this exploration. If you enjoyed this journey through ancient mysteries, please subscribe and let us know in the comments. What do you think happened to the Nephilim? Are they lost to history, or is their influence still felt in ways we have yet to discover? Until next time, keep exploring the unknown